Hi guys, I'm Alessandro Cangelosi, founder and instructor at Nyjo. Today we have a new tutorial, Orange Juice Part 2. So we are using LiquiGen to create this simulation. Today we are going to create the camera animation, then we are going to tweak a little bit the setup, and we are going to add something. So here we have no camera animation because it's just a test of exporting everything to 3ds Max. And that's not the final look. By the way, you see that we have the big splash here. So we try to export two caches together. Okay, so the idea is to have something like that. There we have a different kind of simulation. We have an additional emission, and here you can see that we have the big splash that has some new forces and stuff like that. So you see that we have some new forces to control how it is looking, and we have the drag, and we have the export node here to export the caches. So we'll see how to prepare the camera animation, because here you will see that we have our camera animation. But let's go to remove this one. Let's go to remove this one and set everything back to the right one. So you see that we have no gravity, so back. Then you see that we have the animation or the fluid, and then we have also the camera animation. Camera animation is done directly inside LiquiGen. Obviously it's just to have a guide to set up the fluid, and then we are going to rebuild from scratch the camera animation in the software we are going to use for the lighting and the look tab. So the two emitters are split on two different layers, so we can tweak the orange juice simulation and the big splash, exporting two different caches. So you see that what we have actually. So in the next lesson, we'll take care about the finalization of the setup to be able to export the final cache. By the way, let's start with a part 2, and let's create the new emission and the new stuff for the camera animation. So the first thing I like to do is to have a camera animation. Obviously, we are going to recreate the camera animation again in 3D. So we have two ways. One way can be obviously having an ABC animation for the camera. That's something we can do. So that's a way, but obviously we are not taking care about this way because it is possible that you are using, for example, Blender, or maybe another artist is using Maya or 3ds Max or Houdini. So there are different ways to manage the scene. So the idea is to have the simulation here, have a camera animation here just to play with the simulation timing, and then in 3D we are going to recreate a new camera in the software we are going to use later. So here we see the camera animation because we are using the camera, but the idea is to use we have to use this one because it's the only way. By the way, we know, let's double check. You see that everything is starting here around frame 60 or 80. So it will be nice to be near the fluid here. And then you see that it is moving. So let's use the control and the middle mouse to move. Then you see that it's still moving up. We have some flash, by the way, don't take care about it. It's not a problem. So we should still go up with the camera, and then it will rush. So we should go up here, okay? So we have the frames that are useful to know how we have to manage the camera. So let's go to zoom with the mouse wheel and the control key. So what about the camera? Let's say that when we are here, let's say that we like to show the collider. Okay, so we get to find the camera position here, and it will become the last frame. So let's go to move and tweak the camera. So let's say that we have something like that. So that's the initial camera animation. Let's say that maybe at frame 1100 we have this position. Okay, and we got to be sure we got to have everything animated. So let's go to animate also this one, so we are sure that we have everything. And you know, we can obviously create a key using the shift key, and we do the same for the other, and then we'll take care about it if needed. So then we go here and we say that the camera is going down because I like to see the fluid. So actually what's going on is something like that, you see. So I like to play a little bit with it because I like to stay here more time. So let's say that this one is no more visible. So you see that it is moving, and I don't want to move the camera for a while. So you see that we have the fluid that now is forming. By the way, we have to go up with the camera soon. Okay, so that's okay to have something like that. But then let's say that this one is visible, and here we go up. So the idea is to move up the camera and starting to check the fluid. So you see we are checking the fluid inside, then we start moving the camera, and then it moves here. Okay, so something like that can work. I think that for our purpose that's okay. So we go to save the scene. So this one is for December. New folder, orange juice part 2, a new scenes, and here we say that this one is the number 3. So again, this one can be not visible, and back with the R key or using directly the button, and then press space to see the simulation. Yeah, it seems working nicely. Maybe this one can be moved later. You see when it is rising up, so space bar, and say that we like to have it here. R key, then we see again how it is moving. Then the camera is rising up. We'll still see the fluid that is twisting around the middle points inside the fluid. Then we see the fluid rising up, and then we'll go to see the entire bottle in a few. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, Control S to save, R to reset. Okay, so we have essentially the fluid. Now the idea is to have another emitter, and we can go to create another emitter here, and then all the other will be set to off, and then we go to have a shape as a primitive, and we get to see with the default This one is visible, and we go to have something bigger, and we try to have a splash. So I like to see the bubble. We go to move this one here for the moment. Okay. This one is obviously working, so you see that it's going down. We need to play with the gravity, and the gravity actually is working everywhere. So we can say that we have a mask. Maybe we can try to do something. Let's see if it works. Okay, we have no gravity outside, so we are saying that the gravity is working just inside the bubble. Okay. By the way, it's not a problem for the moment because we are going to use another shape, I think. So let's remove this one. It is better to go with a primitive. We go for show mask, and then we go to use a cylinder, and we have the gravity near the bottle. Okay. Okay. We go to have also a fall off, and then it's not visible. So R and space bar, you see that we have no gradient. Okay, Control S to save. Then inside the emitter we go to have a speed for the emission. Okay. Okay, it is fast enough. Now it is going to X, and we have to say also minus Y. So let's say that it's going to this way, okay, and we have to go on the other side too. Okay, so it is splashing over the bubble. You see, that's really nice. So back in the camera, obviously it needs to play in a different way. So we say that the emission is animated, actually it's set to off, and then when we are here, maybe it is active. Let's try to see. Nothing is happening. The camera is animating, and then let's double check what's going on. It's not enabled. Then it should be enabled, and here it is not enabled. Okay. And then let's move it here to be sure. Okay, to be sure that we are tweaking the right one, let's go to change the name. So let's say this one splash, because I think we are moving the wrong one. And let's say that this one is animated, so it's not active, and then here it is active. Okay, let's see if it works in the right way. sorry. So here it is not enabled, and here it is enabled. We lost the speed, sorry. So it was 1 and -1. Okay, but we have to use another speed. Let's try more. Okay, and we have the big splash over here. Maybe we can get to have a smaller energy here. So let's say that this one is smaller, so it's more inside. Okay, let's double check. Okay, so you see that the gravity is lower. Okay, let's go to add another force, and we get to have a drag force. Let's say that the drag is set to 2. Obviously it's really high. Okay, so we try to go for having the same shape here. So in this way it's just inside, but we try to go. No, I like to have the drag all over, but maybe I like to have a little bit of drag just over the side, you know. Okay, so let's say that the drag is lower. Let's try with 0.25. Okay, that's still too much. 0.1. Oh, sorry. Okay, I deleted the worst way here. So okay, the drag is really high. Okay, let's say that it's still lower. Okay, it's still too much. Okay, something we can try is to have a bigger emitter. So we have a bigger splash, you know. So if we go in the camera and we treat this one, we should have something that is better. I'm not sure why, but okay, the camera is moving. We have the same problem we had before, so let's double check if I lost something. Is the splash. Okay, we can have a different behavior. So let's say that the mission is based on continued generation. So you see that we have a big splash. We say that it's not enabled, then it's working, but we go here and we say that it's not more active. Okay, in this way it works perfectly, you know. So we go to move here and we say that one key is here. The key here can be obviously on the same frame to be more precise, but again it's just for a visualization purpose, so don't worry about it. Let's see, you see that we have nothing, the camera is moving, then we see the entire bottle, and then we have the splash. Okay, by the way, let's say that we have a higher volume. So the flow is higher, so we'll have more particles, you know. Okay. And I like to see what's going on if we have, for example, also the live, so R and space bar to see the simulation. Then we should have the splash and we should see the water dying. Okay, so we give more time to the particles to behave, and then we say that we have a bigger splash. Let's try with 20 and R and space bar, and we can double check. Okay, that's not bad. By the way, I like to have no particles in front of the bottle. So let's try to add another force. And we say that this one is a shape force. We get to create a similar shape for this one. So we use a primitive. And this one will be in front of the bottle, maybe something like that, but it's smaller. Okay, and we say that this one is no visible, but we say that we have another. Okay, let's see what happened. We say that we have the not abstraction, so it's negative. Okay, you see that it's going. But I'm moving the shape just to see when it's behaving in the right way. So let's see, the big splash is coming from this side. Okay, so this one needs to be in front of the bottle. And about the fall off. Okay, you see that the fall off is really bigger, and let's say that this one is -2, but to be more faster during the iteration, we got to have the emission before. Okay, let's say that this one is not visible. And let's go in the camera. Now we have to simulate obviously with the camera because we have to see when it is distant if it works. So we have the splash and we have this force that is pushing away the stuff. Okay. Let's see where it is. Okay, we say that this one is here. And maybe we can have, this one is removed, and we can have a little bit more fall off and a little bit higher energy, Control S, R. Then we say that this one is not visible. And again, spacebar to see the simulation, how it is working. Okay, obviously we are going to close the simulation, the animation before. So maybe I like just to double check if, you know, we can have a bigger splash. So we go here and we say that this one is 2, and again. Okay, you see in this way it is bigger, and maybe we can go a little bit higher. Okay, let's go still higher. Okay, this one is the gravity, and I think we have to double check. It needs to be smaller. This one is just a test, so let's go back to have something that is going down. Okay. Okay. Control S. And I like to, first of all, to move this one here. And I like to remove the bubble from the visualization, because I like to double check what's going on. So let's go in the camera, and we can try to have a render for 1500, and we get to have a new folder, V002. Okay, and we can render this new play blast. Control S, export now. Okay, we'll see the result in a oh sorry, we have to have back the emitters, and I like also before to make a test. You see, we have a problem, I think, with the mask here. Let's see which is the problem. we have everything set to off, so I think it's due to the mask here. So okay, this one works, but now the problem is that for sure the other needs to be tweaked. So let's set back this one, and the same for this one. Okay, we get to have this one here. Okay, yeah. Obviously it is falling, but essentially that's not a problem. Okay, now everything should work. So this one is the shape force, and this one is the drag. Let's go to have back the emission. Now again there is a problem. Let's see if it is no. Maybe it's related to this one. Yeah, it's related to this one. It is going to emit just when we have the splash. So I think we have not to take care about it. It's not a problem. We can simulate later. So let's say this one is here, and everything should work fine. Yeah, okay. So we can tweak later the stuff. It's not a problem. So let's say that this one is saved. Let's go back to the camera. And then now we have a first simulation. So we can think about exporting this one and trying to see what we have. So just to make a really simple test, let's say that we go to export this one, and this one is the export orange, or maybe export juice. Okay, we choose for folder orange, let's say caches, and inside the caches we call this one juice. Now we are going to use just one, so V001, and say that we like to have 1500 frames, and we go to export. Okay, obviously in the next lesson we're going to tune up and tweak the frame we need and everything, so now it's just a test, and then we need to remove everything, and we go to export the splash. So you know, we can essentially move this one here, and we can go here, space bar, and then we have the splash, but we can remove the gravity. Okay, so we have the splash, and we can export, for example, 350 frames. Okay, and then we go here and we call this one splash, and say that we like to export just 350 frames and export. It is really fast because obviously we are working with a really low quality simulation. Control R and Control S, and we can move forward. We make a test loading the stuff this time, for example, in 3ds Max, because the battle was done in 3ds Max. but we'll take care about other software in the upcoming lesson. So today I like just to see if everything works. So we get to import the cache we just done. So orange caches juice. Yeah, let's go in this way. So you see, obviously we have to take care about scaling and stuff like that, so don't worry about it. And then we go to import also the other one. We don't want to fit and set the frame, and let's call this one splash. Okay. We have to tweak this one because the timing is not right. And let's say that we go to have this one as maybe 500. Okay. Here obviously we are working in a way to achieve something that is nice. So I'm using some, some tools in 3ds Max to have something nicer, but don't worry about it. So it's not, obviously it is up to you to find the best way to achieve the result that you like. And then, yeah, the big splash. Obviously we are going to close the animation before, so let's say maybe 70 under 50. Okay. And then let's say here you can go here or use the Shift F. Obviously that's not the right way to do it, remember. We are just making a test, don't worry about it. Here let's go to have just one. Okay, so that's the result. You see that we have the flowing moving up, and then we have the big splash behind. We can make a preview just to double check how it is moving forward, and let's go for standard and default. Okay, so everything is done, guys. In the next lesson we have to tweak the fluid, find the final configuration and parameters, and then we can export everything and start playing with the look dev. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.